Yesterday, this human did exactly that. It was terrifying and enlightening. And you see this as acceptable? Varric demanded. I see it as real, she replied. The sovereign studied Ethan. In our law, Captain Cole, the words you spoke are treated as a formal proposal of lifelong bonding. My daughter is expected to respond with acceptance or rejection. Instead, she has asked for this meeting. Ethan felt the blood drain from his face. Your Majesty, I didn't intend to propose anything. Where I'm from, a compliment is just a compliment. Nevertheless, Varric said, the words have been said. Our traditions do not account for accidental declarations. Perhaps our traditions need to learn, Arya answered, her colors brightening. We are standing at the edge of a new era. We can't pretend that alien cultures don't exist or don't matter. An elderly Lemurian on the edge of the table spoke. Emotional chaos has destroyed many societies, they warned. We built our strength on control. Control that comes with a cost, Arya replied quietly. She turned to Ethan. Captain Cole, answer plainly. When you spoke, were you reciting a diplomatic script? Or were you speaking from your heart? Ethan swallowed. From my heart, he said. No calculation, just truth. The sovereign watched his face, studied the tension in his shoulders, the way his hands tightened on his knees. And if that truth carried unintended meaning in our customs? Kaler asked. Then I'm guilty of ignorance, Ethan said. Not disrespect. The room was silent. Finally, Princess Arya stepped away from her place and stood where everyone could see her. Father, she said, allow me to offer a different path. Instead of treating this phrase as an unbreakable contract, we could treat it as the beginning of an experiment. An experiment. Kaler echoed. Yes, Arya said. Let me study human emotional culture. Let me see how they live with this chaos without tearing themselves apart. Let me learn why this kind of honesty feels so alive. Varric stood abruptly. Your Majesty, this is reckless. Spending more time with them will only further infect our princess with primitive thinking. Arya's skin flashed angry red. Primitive? These primitives argued, laughed, and even disagreed in front of me without fear. They showed care for each other openly. When was the last time anyone in this room did the same? Varric opened his mouth, closed it. No answer came. The sovereign raised a hand for silence. What exactly do you propose, Arya? I want to spend time on their ship, she said. 1 week. I will observe how they decide, how they argue, how they connect. If their emotional openness is dangerous, I'll see it. If it's powerful, I'll see that, too. She turned to Ethan. Captain Cole, would your crew accept this? Ethan felt all eyes on him. We'd be honored, he said, throat dry. We'll show you everything we can, honestly. Varric's colors darkened. Your Majesty, this is madness. Sovereign Kaler sat in silence for a long, heavy moment. Finally, his colors shifted ever so slightly. Very well, he said. 1 week. Princess Arya will live among the humans on their ship. She will be accompanied by advisors and security. She will report to me daily. Varric looked furious. Your protest is noted, Kaler added without looking at him. Princess Arya's skin flared bright gold. Thank you, father. As Ethan and his team were escorted back toward the docking bay, Arya walked beside him. Captain Cole, she said quietly, your words have caused a storm in my empire. But they also opened a door I didn't know existed. Ethan managed a faint smile. I'm not sure whether to apologize again or say you're welcome. Her colors warmed. Perhaps both. Princess Arya arrived on the horizon the next morning with 3 Lemurian companions, High Counselor Varric, Scholar Lethal, and Commander Theros, a silent military officer whose eyes missed nothing. Guest quarters had been prepared, but Arya surprised Ethan. I don't want only polished demonstrations, she said. I want to see real life. How your crew behaves when they are not on display. That might be harder than you think, Ethan admitted. Everyone's nervous. Then we must make them less afraid, she replied. They began in the cafeteria during morning meal. Humans were scattered at tables, eating, talking, joking too loudly. Arya watched closely as 2 engineers argued over how to repair a sensor array. They're shouting, she said. Are they enemies? No, Ethan said with a small laugh. They just disagree. This is normal. They'll work it out. The argument grew animated. Hands waved. Voices rose. Arya tensed, and then relaxed as the 2 engineers finally laughed, shook hands, and one bought the other a drink from the dispenser. They disagreed, argued, and then remained friends, she asked. Exactly, Ethan said. We call it agreeing to disagree sometimes. Chaos, Varric murmured under his breath. Arya turned on him, her colors flashing orange. When was the last time anyone in our council challenged your ideas, Varric? Disagreement between ranks is inappropriate, he responded stiffly. How do you ever know if your ideas are wrong? She asked. He had no answer. Later, in the medical bay, Dr. Hannah Ruiz treated a crewman with a sprained wrist. Does it hurt? Hannah asked. Yeah, Doc, it hurts like hell, the crewman admitted. Hannah smiled. I'll give you something for the pain. And next time, follow the safety protocols. I will. Thanks. When he left, Arya turned to Hannah, confused. He openly admitted pain. And you asked, what? How else would I know what he's feeling? Hannah replied, our scanners help, but a person's own words matter. In our ships, admitting pain is shameful, Arya said. We rely on scanners, not testimony. What about emotional pain? Hannah asked. Stress, grief, fear. You can't scan those away. We don't talk about those, Arya said slowly. Such things are considered private failures. Hannah exchanged a glance with Ethan. That sounds like you're forcing people to suffer alone, she said softly. We think sharing our struggles makes us stronger. Hannah showed Arya photos on her wall. A partner, a child, friends. When I'm afraid or overwhelmed, I talk to my family, Hannah said. They help me. That doesn't make me weak. It makes me supported. Arya stared at the photos for a long time. Her colors softened. You share what we hide, she murmured. You make strength out of what we call weakness. Exactly, Hannah said. In the recreation room, some off-duty crew were playing music. Officer Ben strummed a guitar while others sang. The song was simple but full of emotion, memories of home, lost love, old promises. Arya stood perfectly still, listening. Her colors darkened to deep purples and warm golds. Your music, it hurts, she whispered, but also comforts. That's a good description, Ethan said. We use music to feel, to remember, to heal. Our music is precise, Arya said. Mathematically perfect. It calms the mind. It does not do this. Whatever this is. Ben noticed her watching and grinned. Want to try? He asked, offering the guitar. Varric stepped forward sharply. Your Highness, that is not fitting. Arya took the guitar anyway. Show me, she said. Ben guided her alien fingers to form simple chords. She picked them out with unnatural grace, her crystal joints moving in ways human anatomy couldn't match. Now play something from your heart, Ben said softly. Arya hesitated. Then, for the first time in her life, she played without thinking of protocol. The sound was haunting. Notes twisted in unfamiliar scales. The melody was full of isolation, endless duty, and a desperate quiet wish for connection. When she finished, the room was silent. That was incredible, Ben said. You just told a whole story without words. Arya blinked. Liquid silver tears slid down her cheeks. Varric looked horrified. Your Highness, control yourself. Such display is disgraceful. Arya stood, colors bursting into bright, defiant red. Disgraceful, she said. For the first time in my life, I feel alive. And you call it disgraceful? Royalty cannot behave like people, she cut in. Is that the word you're searching for? The humans watched, unsure whether to step in. The air hummed with tension. Ethan gently gestured toward the corridor. Your Highness, he said quietly. Maybe we should talk somewhere private. Arya took a breath. Her colors shifted to a calmer blue. Yes, she said. I think I need that. Ethan led Arya to his quarters. Varric tried to follow, but she stopped him at the door with one sharp look. Wait outside, she said. That is an order. Inside, the room was small by royal standards, but personal. A worn jacket hung on a hook. A framed image of Earth flickered softly. I'm sorry you had to see me like that, Arya said quietly. My people would be appalled. I didn't see anything wrong, Ethan said. You played something beautiful. You cried. That's normal to us. She sat on his couch, her colors dim and thoughtful. We spend our whole lives holding everything inside. Every fear, every hope, every wish. We are told it keeps us strong. But now I wonder if it just keeps us alone. Ethan sat across from her. Alone in a crowd, he said. I know that feeling. Too many humans know that feeling. She looked up. When you told me I was beautiful, she said softly. It wasn't just the words. It was the way you said them. There was no angle, no calculation, only raw truth. He nodded. That's how we do it. Or at least how we try. In my world, she said, every word is weighed. Every sentence is a move in a game. I have never heard anything like your sentence. It felt like standing in open space with no helmet. Terrifying. And exhilarating. Is that good or bad? He asked. She smiled faintly, and her colors warmed to gold. Yes, she said. Both. They talked for hours. Arya told him about her upbringing. Endless lessons in control, reading subtle color shifts, navigating politics where no one ever said what they truly meant. Ethan told her about human relationships. Friendships built on shared secrets. Families held together by clumsy, honest love. The way telling someone, I'm scared, could be the bravest thing a person ever did. Your people risk being hurt, she said at last. You risk rejection, betrayal, loss. Yeah, he said quietly. But the connections we get in return make it worth it. Life without real connection, she murmured, starts to sound like not life at all. The next day, she asked to sit in on a staff meeting. I want to see how you make decisions, she said. Not the polished version. The real thing. The agenda was huge. Continue deep space exploration with the Lemurians nearby, or return to Earth to report everything. The debate was fierce. Commander Malik argued for returning. We're explorers, not diplomats, he said. We're out of our depth. We need backup and instructions. Henna disagreed. This is once in a civilization moment, she said. If we leave now, we might lose the chance for real understanding. Voices rose. People interrupted. Others calmed them. No one seemed afraid to challenge anyone, even Ethan. Arya watched, fascinated. No one fears punishment for speaking against the captain, she asked Rhea quietly. Disagreements don't equal disrespect, Rhea said. We argue because we care about the outcome. When it came time for Ethan to decide, he didn't simply dictate. I've heard you, he told his crew. We'll send a full report to command, but we won't run away. We stay. We keep talking. Carefully. Afterward, Arya approached him. You invited dissent, she said. And you believe that made your decision better. I know it did, he said. If people feel heard, they'll work harder to make the plan succeed. She stood very still. Her colors shifted slowly. Captain Cole, she said. When you spoke to me in the observation deck, you showed me one human truth. Today I saw another. Your honesty is not just emotional. It is structural. It is how your people function. That's the idea, he said. It makes us uncomfortable, she admitted, but also envious. Areas weak aboard the Horizon raced by. She watched engineers fix things while arguing. She watched Hannah comfort a frightened patient. She listened to music that hurt and healed at the same time. She also spent long hours in the observation deck, talking with Ethan about everything. Family, fear, the future. On her last evening aboard, he found her there, looking out at the stars. Her colors were a deep, contemplative blue. You're sad to leave, he said. Very, she admitted. This week has shown me what I've been missing my entire life. Connection that is not based on duty, but on truth. I'm sorry, he said softly. Don't be. I would rather know the hole in my life than be blind to it forever. She turned to face him. Ethan, may I ask you something, and will you answer with the same honesty? I'll try. Do you believe our species can be more than useful partners? She asked. Not just political allies, but genuine friends? He thought about it. I think it's possible, he said. But it will demand change from both sides. Your people would need to risk being more open. My people would need to learn your boundaries and respect your history. So it would require courage. A lot of it, he said. Her colors brightened. Then I have a proposal, she said. Not the kind your words accidentally triggered. Another kind. He raised an eyebrow. I'm listening. A formal cultural exchange program, Arya said. Not just diplomats and scientists. Ordinary Lemurians and humans living and working together in shared space. Learning each other's ways. That's huge, Ethan said. Do you think your father would agree? I don't know, she said. But I have to try. Before he could respond, the intercom chimed. Captain Cole, Tessa's voice said. Bridge. Now. We're receiving a direct message from the Lemurian sovereign. They rushed to the bridge. Sovereign Kaler's image filled the main screen, flanked by advisors. His colors were controlled, but there was something new in his eyes. Captain Cole, he said, I trust my daughter has been treated with respect. Yes, Your Majesty, Ethan said. It's been an honor to host her. I am pleased, Kayla replied. Arya, you will return immediately. We have much to discuss. Father, Arya said, stepping into view. Before that, I have a proposal for both you and the human authorities. His colors shifted faintly. Go on. I wish to establish a permanent cultural exchange, she said. A joint station, mixed crews, shared daily life. Not just political contact, but real integration. Varric's colors went nearly black. Your Majesty, this is reckless. Emotional contamination. Be silent, Kaler said. Then, to Arya, why do you believe this would benefit us? Arya's skin brightened as she spoke. In 1 week, Father, I have seen more effective teamwork and honest decision-making than in years of council sessions. These humans are flawed, but their openness gives them flexibility we lack. You claim our decision-making is flawed? He asked. I say it can be improved, Arya replied. Tell me, when was the last time someone in your court told you what they truly felt, not what they thought you wanted to hear? Kaler was silent. Captain Cole, Arya said. Explain to my father how you reached your decision to continue this exchange. Ethan cleared his throat. I asked my officers for their honest opinions, he said. They argued, disagreed with me, and with each other. We listened, and then I chose a path. Because they were heard, they're committed to making that choice work. Kaler considered this. Varric couldn't stay quiet. Your Majesty, this is dangerous. The princess has already been affected by their primitive displays. Primitive. Arya turned to him. In 10 years as my advisor, have you ever once warned me you believed I was wrong? It is not my role to question royal will, he said. And that, she replied, is the true danger. Not emotions. Silence. She faced the screen again. Father, when Captain Cole told me I was beautiful, it changed everything. Not because of the compliment, but because it was the first time anyone spoke to me without calculation. I cannot unlearn that feeling. I do not want to. Kaler studied his daughter. Studied Ethan. Arya, he said at last. You believe this exchange could strengthen both our peoples? Yes, she said firmly. Their honesty could teach us connection. Our discipline could help them refine their potential. Together, we could become more than either alone. The sovereign was quiet for a long time. Finally, his colors shifted. Very well, he said. I will authorize a trial program. A joint station on neutral ground. Volunteers from both species. Shared command. We will see if this emotional integration is truly beneficial. Arya's skin flared gold. Thank you, Father. Do not make me regret this, he warned, though there was softness in his tone now. Captain Cole, Kaler said. Would your leaders accept such a program? I believe they'd be very interested, Ethan said. This could be the beginning of something incredible. Then let the planning begin, Kaler said. The transmission ended. Arya turned to Ethan, eyes bright, colors blazing. We did it, she said. We actually did it. You did it, he replied. I just stumbled into an accidental proposal and somehow didn't ruin everything. She laughed, colors rippling with joy. Your clumsy honesty gave me courage. That is not nothing, Captain Cole. Ethan took a breath. His heart hammered. Arya, he said, when I told you you were beautiful, I meant it. Not as an example, as the truth. Her colors cascaded through surprise, warmth, and something deeper. I know, she said softly. That's what made it so terrifying. And so precious. Now that we're going to be working together, Ethan said quietly, would you be open to exploring what a real friendship between a human and a Lemurian might look like? Maybe more than friendship someday? Her skin glowed with warm, steady gold. I wondered how long it would take you to ask, she said. 6 months later, Sanctuary Station 1 floated in orbit above Haven 9. Half human, half Lemurian. All experiment. Ethan and Arya walked along a transparent corridor, watching humans and Lemurians work side by side. Mixed teams repaired systems, ran labs, shared meals. A human engineer laughed as a Lemurian colleague tried, and failed, to understand the point of a practical joke. Nearby, a Lemurian scholar taught a human botanist how to grow living crystal structures. It was messy. It was awkward. It was working. Humans had already adopted certain Lemurian efficiencies. Maintenance schedules were cleaner. Energy use was more precise. At the same time, Lemurians were starting to allow small things, open disagreement in meetings, Music that wasn't perfectly balanced, a little more color in their voices and skin. The data is clear, Scholar Lethal had reported. Joint teams solve problems faster than either group alone. Now, Ethan and Arya stood in a small park on the station. Human and Lemurian children played together under an artificial sky, chasing each other through low gravity. You know, Arya said, watching them. If you hadn't told me I was beautiful that first day, none of this would exist. Are you glad I did? Ethan asked. Her colors shimmered with every shade of joy. More glad than any language can express, she said. Ethan smiled and held out his hand. She took it without hesitation. Sometimes, he said, the most powerful diplomacy is just telling the truth. She squeezed his hand gently. Sometimes, she agreed. The smallest, most honest sentence can change two civilizations. Far beyond the station, other empires watched. Some with suspicion, some with envy, some with hope. But on Sanctuary Station 1, a human captain and an alien princess had already proven the core HFY truth. When humans are honest, even clumsy, even scared, they can move hearts, rewrite traditions, and reshape the stars themselves. All because one human looked at an alien princess and said the words no one in her perfect, controlled world had ever dared to say. You're so beautiful, I can't speak. And he meant it. Captain Ethan Cole stood on the bridge of the HSS Horizon, staring at the starfield through the forward viewing pane. The ship had been wandering deep space for 3 long months, scanning rocks, empty gas clouds, and dead worlds. It was routine. It was quiet. It was almost boring. Then his comms officer broke the silence. Captain, I'm getting a signal, said Officer Tessa Park, fingers flying over her console. It's not Earth, and it's not any human beacon. Ethan walked over, heart beating faster. The Horizon was an exploration ship. They had hoped for new life, yes, but no one had actually expected intelligent aliens to speak first. Put it on the main screen, he said. At first, only static. Then a voice, musical and strange, filled the bridge. The translation software word, symbols streaming across Tessa's display. This is Princess Arya Saran of the Lemurian sovereignty. The synthesized voice said at last. We request a meeting with the leaders of your vessel. We wish to discuss peaceful relations between our peoples. The bridge fell silent. Dr. Hannah Ruiz, the science officer, took a step forward, eyes wide. Captain, this is it. True first contact. Ethan could feel everyone watching him. This moment would shape humanity's future. Peace or disaster. Friendship or fear. Send a reply, he told Tessa. Tell them we accept. Ask for coordinates and time. The answer came quickly. We will meet on the neutral moon known to your star charts as Haven 9. It is safe for both our species. We will arrive in 2 standard days. 2 days. That was all the time they had to prepare for history. Ethan called an emergency meeting. Senior staff gathered in the conference room. Dr. Hannah Ruiz, Security Chief Commander Malik Stone, and Ambassador Rhea Morgan, their expert in culture and negotiation. This is everything we've been hoping for, Rhea said. But we can't be naive. We know almost nothing about them. What do we have on the Lemurians? Ethan asked. Hannah tapped on her tablet. Long-range sensors show a multi-system empire. Their energy signatures suggest tech ahead of ours. Not godlike, but definitely sharper. Malik folded his arms. If they're that advanced and things go wrong, we're in trouble. They requested a meeting instead of shooting us, Ethan said. Let's take that as a good sign. 2 days vanished in a blur of briefings, simulations, and nervous glances at the clock. When the Horizon arrived at Haven 9, Ethan's mouth felt dry. The moon was small, thin atmosphere, but breathable. On the surface sat an eerie alien outpost, built long ago by some unknown third race and designated neutral ground. Ethan put on his dress uniform. He picked a small, trusted team. Hannah for science, Rhea for diplomacy, Malik for protection. Their shuttle descended, touching down near the glowing structure. The building looked like smooth metal grown instead of built, its surfaces softly lit from within. Inside, chairs and tables shifted and flexed as if alive, adjusting their shapes for unknown guests. They should be here soon, Rhea murmured. The air in the center of the room began to shimmer. Ethan had read about transport technology. He had never seen it. Light twisted. Space rippled. 3 figures stepped out of the shimmer. Ethan's breath caught. The aliens were tall, slender, and elegant beyond imagination. Their skin was like living crystal, catching the light and scattering it in sweeping patterns. Their faces echoed human symmetry, but with sharper lines and immense, star-deep eyes. As they moved, color flowed over their bodies like water. The one in front clearly held authority. Her crystalline skin was pale teal, shifting to silver when she turned. She wore layered garments that looked woven from light and mist. "I am Princess Arya Saran," she said. Her translated voice carried chords that resonated in Ethan's chest, like music tuned to his heartbeat. "These are my advisors, High Counselor Varric and Scholar Lethal." Ethan stared. For a moment, he forgot how to speak. Rhea stepped forward, rescuing the silence. "Your Highness, I am Ambassador Rhea Morgan. This is Captain Ethan Cole, Dr. Hannah Ruiz, and Commander Malik Stone. We are honored to meet you." Arya inclined her head. "We are pleased to finally address your species directly. We have watched your exploration. We are curious." Ethan forced his voice to work. "We're very curious about you as well." He had no idea this curiosity was about to change his life, and maybe both civilizations, forever. The Lemurians proposed a cultural exchange. Knowledge for knowledge. A visit for a visit. "You may come aboard one of our vessels," Princess Arya said. "We would like the same courtesy on your ship." Ethan agreed, though it was hard to focus whenever she spoke. When she talked, colors rippled over her skin in complex patterns the translator couldn't decode. He had never seen anything so mesmerizing. The first visit was theirs. The next morning, in the docking bay of the Horizon, Ethan waited with his team. Hannah checked scanners. Malik reran security protocols. Rhea reviewed first contact etiquette for the 10th time. "Everyone remember," Rhea said. "Cultural differences. Tread carefully. No assumptions." The air shimmered again. Light flared. Princess Arya and her two advisors appeared in their docking bay, radiant against the steel walls. Her skin, today, glowed a soft green-blue, shifting as she looked around. "Welcome aboard the Horizon," Ethan said, trying to sound like this was normal. "We're honored to host you. Your vessel is crafted with interesting simplicity," Arya said, her tone curious. "Metal and structure. Linear design. Our ships are grown as living crystal. Yours feels solid. Defined." Rhea smiled. "Would you like a tour?" "That would be enlightening." They began in the main corridor. Ethan explained the layout: command, engineering, science, habitation. Arya asked sharp questions about artificial gravity, engines, and life support. "You rotate sections to create gravity," she noted. "We generate localized gravity fields directly. Multiple solutions for the same problem." "Interesting." High Counselor Varric's skin darkened. His expression never quite softened. "Their methods are inefficient," he said in their own language. The translator rendered it perfectly. Color rose in Ethan's cheeks. "Our tech is what we have," he said. "We're still learning." Arya turned to Varric, her skin flashing a bright orange streak. "Counselor, that was discourteous. Our hosts offer us transparency and access. We owe them respect." "Of course, Your Highness," Varric said, though he did not look repentant. They visited the labs. Hannah practically glowed as she showed off microscopes, spectrometers, and analysis tools. "These devices let us see very small things," Hannah explained. "Microorganisms. Cells. Structures smaller than the eye can see. You use your eyes and hands as intermediaries," Arya said, fascinated. "We link such tools directly to our neural patterns. But there is something intimate about this approach. May I try?" Hannah guided her to a station. When Arya looked into the microscope, her crystal skin flickered through a storm of colors. "It's beautiful," she whispered. "Not just what I see, but that I must work to see it. That process feels personal." In the cafeteria, humans tried not to stare at their alien guests and failed completely. Varric watched the crew with visible disapproval. "Their emotions are unmasked," he said. "Their faces expose all. It is chaotic." "How do your people show emotion?" Ethan asked. Princess Arya gestured delicately to her own face and arms. "Our colors. Our voice harmonics. But we are trained from childhood to modulate both. Uncontrolled display is considered shameful. Only children and the unstable fail to regulate." Ethan sighed. "Sounds lonely." Arya stopped walking. Her skin stilled, shifting to a flat silver. "Lonely," she repeated, as if testing the word. Rhea stepped in. Humans believe sharing our feelings brings us closer. Hiding everything would be unhealthy. Give me an example, Arya said quietly, of your emotional directness. They moved to the observation deck. Stars painted the darkness beyond the glass. The horizon drifted in silence. For us, Ethan said, standing beside her, emotions are a bridge. If something moves us, we say it. We laugh. We cry. We admit fear. It might be messy, but it's honest. And this brings you closer rather than tearing you apart, she asked. Most of the time, he said. Honesty lets people really know each other. She looked at him, her skin slowly shifting from silver to a soft, thoughtful violet. In my culture, Arya said, strong displays are weakness. Only the untrained reveal their hearts. Royals least of all. Ethan swallowed. His chest tightened. She was lit by distant starlight, her crystalline skin scattering it like a living gem. He realized he was staring. If you want an example of human honesty, he said, voice suddenly unsteady, here's one. He took a breath. If I were completely honest, I'd tell you that you're so beautiful it makes it hard for me to speak. The translator turned his words into her language. Princess Arya froze. Her colors went still. Breath caught in her chest. Her eyes widened, fixed on him. The silence was immediate. Heavy. Ethan's heart dropped. I'm sorry, he blurted. I was trying to demonstrate. I didn't mean to offend or break some protocol I don't understand. But Arya still didn't answer. Her colors erupted, racing across her body like a storm. Her breathing turned quick and shallow. High Counselor Varek rushed forward. Your Highness, are you unwell? His gaze snapped to Ethan, sharp as a knife. What did you say to her? Rhea stepped between them like a shield. It was an example of human expression. Nothing disrespectful was intended. Scholar Lethal checked a device that rippled like liquid light. Explain the exact phrase, she demanded. Rhea did. Varek's skin turned a deep, dangerous red. Do you comprehend what you have done? He said to Ethan. Such words, in our culture, are reserved only for bonded pairs. You have made a declaration of profound attachment. Ethan went cold. I didn't know, he said, where I come from. That was just an honest compliment. Princess Arya finally spoke, voice soft and shaken. In all my life, she said, no one has ever spoken to me that way. Protocol forbids it. Even those closest to me use careful, distant words. Your Highness, Varek said urgently, we should return to our ship. At once. This violation cannot be ignored. But Arya shook her head, colors moving more slowly now. No, I want to understand this. Captain Cole, you said those words simply because you felt them? Yes, Ethan said. I wasn't thinking about laws or status. Just truth. And this is normal for humans? She asked. Very, Rhea answered. We value honesty, even when it's risky. Arya turned back to the stars, skin deepening to a rich, unknown blue. How strange, she murmured. How frightening. And how peculiar and wonderful. She looked at Ethan again. Your words have shaken me, Captain Cole. But they have also shown me something my own culture has hidden from me my entire life. Neither of them knew that one honest sentence had just set off a diplomatic explosion. The next day, Ethan was writing his daily report when Tessa's voice came over the intercom. Captain, we've received a new request from the Lemurians, she said. They want another meeting. This time on their ship. Ethan's stomach clenched. Did they say why? No, sir. Just that it's important. And Princess Arya herself is asking. He gathered his core team, Rhea, Hannah, Malik, in the corridor leading to the shuttle bay. I've been studying everything we can about their culture, Rhea said as they walked. Ethan, I think when you complimented her, you may have accidentally made a formal bonding proposal. Ethan stopped. What? In their society, Rhea said, direct emotional statements are restricted to life partners. Publicly stating that someone is beautiful in that way is huge. Malik let out a low whistle. That's one way to kick off interstellar negotiations. This isn't funny, Hannah snapped. If we've insulted their royal house, this could mean war. We don't know that yet, Rhea said. But we need to tread very carefully. The shuttle launched, gliding toward the Lemurian ship. Up close, it looked like a massive, faceted crystal, as if a comet of living light had grown engines and guidance systems. Docking clamps closed around them with eerie precision. When the hatch opened, Princess Arya was waiting, flanked by more Lemurians than before. Their skins were dimmer, their colors tightly controlled. None of them showed the wild fluctuations Ethan had seen on her. Captain Cole, Arya said, voice formal. Thank you for coming. We must discuss what occurred yesterday. She led them through corridors of luminous, pulsing crystal. The walls thrummed softly, like a heartbeat. They entered a large chamber. The curved ceiling showed projections of stars and nebulae. Several high-ranking Lemurians sat at a crescent table. A figure at the center turned to face Ethan. Captain Cole, he said, I am Sovereign Kaler Saran, father to Arya and ruler of the Lemurian sovereignty. Ethan's pulse spiked. He bowed his head slightly. Your Majesty, it's an honor. Sit, the sovereign said. It sounded less like an invitation and more like an order. The chairs adapted to human bodies as they sat, reshaping with unsettling smoothness. Yesterday, Sovereign Kaler said, you spoke to my daughter in a way that has caused great disruption in my court. Do you understand the weight of your words? I'm starting to, Ethan said carefully. But I meant no insult. I was demonstrating human honesty. Human culture, Varric said with clear disdain. Impulsive expressions. No discipline. No awareness of consequence. Princess Arya finally spoke up, colors beginning to flicker faintly around her shoulders. Father, Counselor Varric, I must speak. The sovereign's crystalline brows lifted, a sign of surprise. Proceed, Arya. For all my life, she said, every word spoken to me has been polished and safe. No one has ever risked true emotional honesty.